Hi, friends.
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
Wait, we're doing a podcast?
Yeah, after some technical difficulties.
Jeez.
It was a whale of a problem.
Got a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, if you know that Disney reference. But yeah, welcome, my friends, to our episode and review of The Whale.
The Whale is a A24 studio representation and directed by Darren Aronofsky and screenplay by Samuel D. Hunter based on a play.
Based on the play,
yeah. What'd you think of this director screenplay?
Sure. So Darren Aronofsky is a big hit and miss for me. You've got really wonderful films, and really not so great films. The big one that always sticks out to me, which is a bit of a sore thumb, is Noah. Noah was not the best in my opinion, but then you have little smaller films that I remember that I'm drawing a blank on right now that I have loved from Aronofsky.
Black Swan, maybe.
Black Swan, there we go. That's a good one. I did enjoy Black Swan. But it really kind of, it varies for me on his work. But here I actually was okay with him on it. I thought a lot of the shots were pretty well thought out. He pulled really wonderful performances out of each of his actors, which we'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, I thought overall actually the script as well, it had a little bit of pacing issues, but I thought it overall as well was done really, really well as well. What did you think of the director and the screenplay?
He's very hit or miss for me. I just feel like a lot of his recent films have been a little too controversial, which that's just the way he does things. I'm not gonna hinder a director for doing something like that, but they're just a little. There's a few themes in his most recent films that I don't think need to be touched on anymore.
That's fair.
Which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I really appreciated the screenplay. I feel like since it was based on a play, it reminded me of like a play aspect to it.
Sure.
And it made other things related that weren't cast related. Like a lot of the other things, they made it into a character into this film. But so a brief summary: a reclusive English teacher attempts to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter. We love that. Mr. Zach.
Yeah.
Would you be a dear and split up the episode?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Sure.
All right, my friends. So how we split up our episodes here on Little Movie Podcast, we split them up into 3 different categories. We like to start with our non-spoiler section where we talk about cast performances and any other non-spoilery things where we'd like to talk about. Then we dive into our review, which Mitch will dive into a little bit into more detail when we get there. And then we'll move on to our spoiler section.
Sweet potato. Now it's time, my friends. We're enter this non-spoiler section.
Non-spoiler section.
Why are we whispering?
I don't know, but it's okay.
Okay, so I'll start. My first thoughts. Decent movie.
Okay.
But only because of one thing.
Oh, yeah?
And it was a certain actor's performance. It was Brendan Fraser. But we'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
But my first thoughts of the movie, it's a Darren Aronofsky film. And I told you that as soon as we left the theater. This is a Darren Aronofsky film through and through. People are going to be talking about it. People are going to hate on it. People are going to love it. People are going to shit on it. People are going to draw praises on it. And there are people like me that are just like, it's a Darren Aronofsky film. And that's exactly how I feel about it going forward and looking back on it.
Yeah, which kind of leads into kind of my first thoughts about it too. It's so weird that it really does feel so Darren Aronofsky, and yet really in terms of script, he really doesn't really touch it at all. It's more just the feel of it. You kind of just feel him throughout the entire movie, but you're drawn to this movie from all the praise that you've been hearing from the film festivals about Brendan Fraser's return, basically, because this is his return to form, as it were. It's his big like welcome back to Hollywood kind of a movie. That's, I will go into his performance later, but you come for his performance, but I feel the movie you come to and you watch is also worth your time as well.
Yeah, and we might as well just segue into our cast performances section now. Brendan Fraser, This man deserves every single, at least nomination for every accolade.
Oh, yeah.
This award season after this performance. Brilliant performance. Bravo, Brendan Fraser. Welcome back to the Hollywood scene. He deserves it through and through. He was beautiful in this film.
Yeah. Hi, friend. Welcome back.
I want him to watch this and listen to it, and I want him to call us and be, because you and I are fans of his, absolutely, because we watched The Mummy, George of the Jungle, and all kinds of things. But yeah, what'd you think, Zach?
I miss him. I'm so happy he's back, and I'm so happy that he was able, like, because it would be one thing to have him come back for like something like The Mummy or something, which would be an action movie, which, you know, I'm not saying that you're not an actor if you star in an action movie.
Sure.
You are, like, 100%, and there are definitely like wonderful moments that you get to stretch your acting chops on in acting movies. But dramas, you really get to dig into really, really wonderful characters and whatnot. So to allow him for his first foray into major Hollywood again to be in a character piece is really great and really awesome. And a really great way to kind of let a little bit of his pain out from the past that he's had. So it was really great to see that coming from him. Not that I want to see this man in pain at all, but like you really see just how much this man is drawing on, and what he puts into this performance is just of another caliber and of another level that we have not seen from him before. And I thoroughly enjoyed this performance, and I agree, I would love to see him nominated, if not winning, this season for all awards.
Yeah, and we have 2 more cast performances as well to talk about. First up, we have Hong Chow as Liz. Basically, trying to avoid spoilers here, she's his friend.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser plays Charlie, by the way,
Yeah.
character's name. And Hong Chow, she plays Liz, a good friend of Charlie's.
Yeah.
Without going into spoiler territory, I appreciated her performance in this
I did
one.
too.
I thought she brought this power to her that was really needed in the film, kind of contrasting Brendan Fraser's humanity, if you will.
Yeah.
But her performance was needed in this film more than I think a lot of people will give her credit for, in my opinion.
100%. That's the thing that I think is a little bit hard for this movie, is that I feel like as great as Brendan Fraser shines, and as much as he does deserve all the credit that he is being given, I feel like a lot of people then will look over our other performers in this movie. And hers is one that I don't think should be overlooked either, especially coming from The Menu. I wasn't the biggest fan of her performance in The Menu. It wasn't bad.
Sure.
But it really was very one note.
Yes.
As opposed to this one, where it was very well, she dives really well. You get to see multiple sides of this character. You really get to see her play a lot more in this character and in this role. So I really did enjoy that. And it really shows through in this one. So I really do also have to give props to her on this one as well.
The last one was, in my opinion, a big scene stealer, and that was Sadie Sink as Ellie. And in my opinion, she also deserves a lot of recognition for accolades, especially for somebody of her age. She brought this, dare I say, bestiality to her performance, because she like went full beast mode a few times in this film.
Okay,
and
I was a little worried where you were going there.
Yeah,
I was like,
but
she didn't want to fuck anything.
No.
Like, no, like animal fucking. Like,
you
no.
know what I meant, though. Like
Afterwards,
yeah.
I was a little like, huh?
Yeah, but,
now I get you.
But she went like full beast mode in this film, and I'm like, go queen, go. I mean, come on now. But what'd you think, Zach?
I thought she did. I don't think she did bad, and I wouldn't even say that she did okay. She did good.
Really?
I wouldn't say that it was the best performance out of. Like, it was still like a really wonderful performance, don't get me wrong, but I would just say that it's on the good level. It's not like great or awe-inspiring for me personally.
Well, that's something we disagree on.
Yeah, that's okay. And I think that there were really wonderful moments that she brought, but there were also some really other moments that she also brought me out of the movie for. So that's one thing. And I can't really go into it without spoiling like some of the things, but I thought there were some moments that her and Brendan Fraser really did play well with, because that's another thing too that I really also want to say, just kind of because it kind of pairs with the cast performances. You really get, it's a lot of one-on-ones in this one.
Yes.
There's really not a whole lot of like group play with this. It really, those group moments are very, very small and just a couple of lines before moving on to another like partner scene.
Yes.
Which I thought was really, really kind of nice and refreshing after a lot of movies really try, even with like small cast, to have like the small cast all together. So it's nice to kind of just have a movie of just literally a bunch of one-on-ones, which I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us for the cast performances section. Now that we are going to continue into the non-spoiler section, we have now entered the score territory.
The score. There's not a lot of score in this movie.
Yeah, and if I may, Zach,
Yeah.
we're going to disagree on this.
Okay.
I didn't like the score.
You didn't like the score.
Nope.
Okay.
And
Why do you not like
It
the
was
score
too
on this one?
bland for me.
Okay.
It was way too bland. See, when I think of score of films, I like to remember bits and pieces. Like John Williams, I can always picture and hear every single theme of his, like, Jaws, Michael Giacchino with the Batman and The Incredibles. With this score, I don't remember any of it.
Sure.
And I just thought it was bland, and it just didn't fit into the setting of the film. And it just didn't become that character that I think this film needed it to be.
Okay, for sure. Admittedly, I really do disagree with you on this one for this, because I feel like the score did have a bit of a character in itself, because when there's a bit of spiraling that happens for Brendan Fraser's character at multiple times through here, and you kind of see the extent of the character's pain and where the character is at. It really does a really wonderful job of sliding down into lower octaves and whatnot when it comes down to it, because it will start kind of like really high and he'll be floating on a good run, and then all of a sudden like something will happen or something will trigger a dive, and then all of a sudden you hear the score slide and go down, and it's really, really wonderful. And it knows when to do it, and it just kind of goes into this like really grumbly, rumbly bit of thrashing score that I really did enjoy. I really enjoyed that bit of movie magic there.
I thought the setting of the film was really good too.
That's fair.
Kind of segue into that because I kind of knew what you were going through there.
Yeah.
The reason why I like the setting so much in this one was because it was one place.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you where that place is, but it was just one place.
Well, it basically just takes place in his apartment.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I appreciated for this film so much, is it's one place. They didn't leave. Nobody left. I mean, they didn't leave the area.
Not really. Yeah.
No. And it reminded me of a Broadway play. And that's what I loved about this film so much, was they didn't leave the setting, and it became a character in this film. I don't know. What'd you think?
Yeah, it definitely felt a lot more like a play, because it really was really stuck with the apartment. You were outside the apartment, you were inside the apartment, really kind of staying in kind of like the living room area, but kind of going sometimes into other areas of the apartment as well. It's not a very big apartment.
No.
I think it's a 2-bedroom and 1 bath.
I think, yeah, that's right. Near studio. I wouldn't call it a studio.
No, it's not a studio. Yeah, it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
Sure.
But it's kind of nice to see a film know kind of its limits and just try to tell a smaller story, which I was kind of like. So I think our next topic,
and that's the last one in the non-spoiler section, is this next topic.
Yep, is gonna be obesity representation, because that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the kind of the controversies of this film is how does it handle obesity? What did you think about it and its representation of obesity overall?
See, it's tough because, you know, how skinny I am. I feel like it could have done a little bit better, dare I say? Because, you know, there are some other things that people with obesity issues that the film may have touched up on that we don't know about.
Sure.
And I just feel like they could have went a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah.
And maybe like why are they the way they are? Like how did they get this way? Why do they choose to eat so much and everything? I just feel like I feel like Darren Aronofsky could have done a little bit deeper. It still was done well.
Sure.
But I feel like they could have added a little bit more to it.
Sure.
Now, what did you think?
So, obviously,
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Obviously, representation comes for different people, and again, while I do have a little bit of a gut, I'm not terribly obese.
No, neither, and definitely not me.
So I really can't talk about very much how I feel representation is again. But with that side note, I feel like they did actually a pretty decent job of it for this one because, you know, Brendan Fraser does say in the movie, you know, I was a bigger guy before this, but he says, you know, that he spiraled. He says that he's in the situation that he's in because he couldn't pull himself out of his grief. And it got to an extreme. And I feel like it's not saying like this certain, like, how like obesity is like absolutely 100% terrible. We're talking about for this character in this situation the extreme.
Yes.
Like where it does genuinely cause serious health issues.
Yes.
Very, very terrible medical issues.
Yes.
Is where it's gotten this character to this point. And the character acknowledges that. The character has made peace with that. And I feel like because of that acceptance, I feel like that the character that it does give good representation because the character understands why he's in this position and understands that for his health it's not of the best position, but he also understands it's been part of his grieving process. So there's kind of that like acceptance almost. So while I don't say it's a bright shining knight leading the charge for representation, I don't say that. I think it is a step up. It's a step positive. I don't say it's the best, but I think it's towards a positive.
Okay, so I'll agree with that. All right, so that's our non-spoiler section. Thank you so much for joining us, my friends. But now it's time to enter our review.
Yeah.
Now, since you did the way we split up the episode, I'll talk about the review.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you, Mitch.
we have 3 categories and 2 phantom categories. 2 phantoms, we'll worry about that later. The three categories is, first one is Feed It to the Dog, Jazz, who's resting. Meaning we didn't really enjoy the film. We do recommend that you still see it, whether it's in theaters, wait till streaming, whatever you need to do, still go see it, but we did not enjoy the film.
Yeah.
Second category is needs to cook a little more, meaning we thought the film was kind of meh. It could have been a director change, script change, actor change, whatever it needed to get it to that next category, which is eat it up, meaning we enjoyed the film. We definitely recommend you see it in theaters, but if you have to wait till streaming or VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever you have, then by all means, as soon as it's available in your area, watch it.
I'm not gonna lie. If you can get this movie on VHS, could you actually send that to me?
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I wanted to get there.
To find another movie that's released on VHS right now.
All right. So, review time.
Yeah.
Zach, what'd you think?
I think I ate this up. It's not a perfect movie, but I definitely enjoyed the performances. I enjoyed the story. I thought it did a really wonderful job. I had very wonderful connections and wonderful thoughts coming out of it. I think I ate this movie up. Mitch, what about you? What did you think of The Whale?
It is a very low eat it up for me. It is so close to that needs to cook a little more, but Brendan Fraser makes it an eat it up. It's just, like I said, it's a Darren Aronofsky film. It's going to split people up. It's going to be controversial. A lot of people are going to love it. A lot of people are going to hate it. A lot of people are going to say it's a Darren Aronofsky film. But Brendan Fraser makes it an eat it up for me.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much, my friends. If you do have to leave us because you don't want any spoilers, that's okay. But before you do leave, please give us a thumbs up or click that subscribe button and that notification icon so you know when we post new videos.
Or email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com if you want to get real close and personal with us, I guess.
Okay. That's all right. But until that time, my friends, thank you so much for joining us. But we are going to go ahead and sound that alarm. Mitch, would you like to sound our alarm to let us into our spoiler section? I didn't know you speak whale.
No, that's Italian, Zach.
That's Italian.
Yeah. Okay, my friends. So we have now entered our spoilers territory. Thanks very much for sticking with us. We got two things.
Yeah.
First one, it's a normal for Darren Aronofsky lately.
Yeah.
Religion is in this film, and I don't like it.
Okay, well, to be honest, I kind of liked how religion was actually hit. Like, if he's going to put religion in his films, this is the way for me personally to go.
I will agree. I still didn't enjoy it.
You still
kind
of rolled your eyes about it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. So would you like to kind of go into a little more about why you don't?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So there's a character. I completely forgot his name. Is it Todd? I can't think of his name.
I don't know. He's
in whatever.
He's kind of a missionary.
Yeah.
Ish.
But he keeps showing up to Charlie's place saying that he needs God and everything. And Charlie basically gives him the finger without giving him the finger because Charlie is a gay man. And and the missionary character is near the end, he basically calls Charlie disgusting for being gay almost. And Charlie basically he let him have it at the end of the film, in my opinion.
A little bit, yeah. I feel it's a really good depiction of two opposing sides. Especially when the person we'll call him Todd.
Yeah,
I don't know what I can't remember.
Look him up on IMDb.
I can't remember what the character's name is, but let's just say Todd. He was a missionary, but then got in trouble and stole and ran away. And then was coming over to the apartment to ask for help, but then realized that
Charlie needed help.
So he felt that God brought him to Charlie to try to help bring Charlie to the light, quote unquote. And little did he know that New Life actually is what kind of helped sent Charlie down this spiral.
Because Charlie's boyfriend
was found dead because of his father, who leads New Life.
And the way Charlie's boyfriend died is he basically starved himself to death.
Basically. But it's really great to see how Charlie was basically like, you can do New Life. That's your choice. That's up to you.
But he wanted to be.
But he's like, he's like, this is New Life is not for me. The Bible is not for me. That way of life is just not for me.
Yeah.
You can use your faith in your own way, and I will use my faith in my own. And I really liked that, especially coming from Aronofsky, and the split it is, you know, you can think how you want. You can think that, you know, that Charlie's life, quote unquote, is disgusting for being gay. And if you think that, that is your choice.
It's your prerogative.
However, acting on it and saying, you know, I am not going to be your friend, or I'm not going to, I'm going to hold things back from you because of that choice, that's where it gets wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why I really kind of enjoyed Aronofsky's thing, is because when Charlie was basically telling off Todd, he's like, you go enjoy your life and I will live whatever life I have left.
Yeah, and it was kind of a sad ending later because, you know, Charlie basically after that moment ate himself to death. But he did have a very wonderful ending moment with his daughter, basically saying that, you know, his daughter is amazing, going to do great things. And she was basically the reason that Charlie kept living was for her, and saved all her money, and it was a very beautiful ending. I will give it, but it was sad to see Charlie die in such a very horrible ending. But that's our review, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Leave us a like, give us a comment, subscribe, email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. But until that time,
and also hit that notification icon.
That's right.
That way you can be notified when we do have our videos come out. But like you said, until that time, I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch,
and we are
an excellent little podcast.